So Formula One didn't really have much of a silly season, but they're having a crazy season leading up to the start of the season. We're going to talk a little bit about Wednesday Night Dash this week and what happened to me. And we're also going to talk a little bit about, I guess we'll talk about the Busch Clash, whatever. It is what it is. This is iRacing's Garage Talk. I'm DJ Block.
I'm Erik Richardson.
Oh yeah, and some guys joining Ferrari. What was his name? Larry something.
Yeah, something Hamilton, I think.
Yeah, say Hamilton. Oh, like
I
like
think he's
the
kind of
Broadway
good.
play, the Broadway play. That guy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that.
Alexander. That's
Yeah,
right.
Alexander Hamilton. That guy. The $10 bill. He's joining Ferrari. Right, you heard it here first. Anyway, yeah. So Lewis is made his decision in December, and he is leaving Mercedes at the end of this year, and will be probably finishing his career at Ferrari. And
Yeah,
question is why? Is it, he said this, representing Ferrari, the most famous brand in motorsports, um, something he wanted to do. Some people said he got word of the W15 is going to be crap and he doesn't like the direction Mercedes is going.
yeah.
It's
I've seen a couple things. I'm not sure we'll ever get a clear answer. It'll be interesting to see how this year goes. If they share a lot of technical insight to them, or if it's business as normal, or if it starts to shift a little bit.
and then who takes his spot? Carlos Sainz is out of a job at the end of the year now.
Because Leclerc just got re-signed.
Yep.
What, like the week
There's all this talk
before?
about Sainz going to Audi in 2026. So I'm guessing he'll probably go there a year earlier, boot out either Valtteri Bottas, who is rumored to have been flirting with potentially trying to get his old seat back at Mercedes. Um, maybe it's a shuffle.
Next year could be the real silly season.
Yeah, well, I mean, we didn't get one this year. It was
Wow.
all the drivers returned in the same spot. Even some that were like, is Lance Stroll going to go become a tennis player? Is Logan Sargent getting a second chance after his mostly down rookie year?
Yeah, we're not really seeing any driver changes, but we are seeing the livery changes.
Yeah, some of them.
I think so far the biggest drastic change is Sauber.
Yeah, with their kick, that obnoxious green and black. I think it is a good look though. You're not going to mistake them on the track for anybody.
Of the four I've seen, I think that might be the one I like best, but I'm kind
The
of
Alpine look good.
underwhelmed. Yeah, I missed the blue and pink of it, but it does look good too.
It's a good looking. So Williams was a little underwhelming. I mean, I got what they did. I think they're going to be better this year. I don't know how much better, but they'll be better. Are they going to move up into that next tier where we start seeing at least, Alex Albon consistently into Q2 and maybe more Q3s?
I don't
I don't.
know. You're still going to take six spots more or less with Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull.
And
So it
McLaren.
only leaves four. Yeah, McLaren was coming on like
I think
gangbusters.
McLaren, they had such a terrible start to the year. Like I have never seen like just like that complete 180 from them.
They
We're
went
talking
from being basically 15th, 16th, battling each other to double podiums.
and Lando breaking trophies.
So yeah, if you add McLaren into that, that's eight of the 10 spots.
So in crazier news this week, as crazy as Lewis Hamilton leaving Mercedes, Christian Horner, the team principal for Red Bull, might be out of a job here.
Yes, I think standard denying accusations right now, but they're what saying
It's
to
the full Red Bull
resign and
company. Yeah, the full Red Bull company is doing this investigation.
yeah, it's
Uh,
not just F1 Red Bull, it's
it's
Red
like Red
Bull.
Red Bull corporate. they might be giving him his wings out the door, depending. And there's some rumors of what he did. We're not going to say anything. We may never find out.
We're not going to
From
speculate. We're going to wait for
Yep,
everything to come to fruition. Just letting you know kind of what's going on in racing world.
yep. So we'll wait and see what happens there. But it sounds like, I mean, there's been a lot of butting heads behind the scenes at Red Bull over the year between Max's dad and Helmut Marko. And Christian Horner, the three of them don't really care for each other too much. And the rumor is that this story broke in the Netherlands, and so of course they're saying, no, it was either Max or his dad, Jos Verstappen, who leaked this to the press. But again, speculation. Who knows? We'll wait and see.
Yep. There's lots of F1. Season hasn't even started yet.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
and
for
there
for
may be
as
a race
little
off
as
the
we
schedule
heard
too,
from
right?
November to December, we've got it all in the last like 2 weeks.
And they may be shorter race.
Yeah. Oh, and then this broke in the last day or so. Yeah, right. We got a Facebook message from Facebook support. This is your last warning. You need to confirm the page belongs to you and is being used normally. Confirm. And click this shady looking link. No, I'm not doing that.
No.
Go away.
No, we won't.
So the Singapore Grand Prix is being reviewed by the local government because the former transportation minister was arrested over some kind of, he's been charged with 27 charges, including alleged acceptance of tickets from influential hotelers. And they're looking at the F1 contract, if that was shady at all. No, it wasn't. So China's back. Singapore might be going away.
No, I'm actually looking too that the FIA has lost 2 top legal department executives.
That's no good. I didn't even see that. Oh, and I got a package today in the mail.
Indeed.
Oh yeah.
Finally got around to
Finally,
doing
this is
that.
from July of last year. I keep forgetting, and I'm like, oh, I need to send you money for that. So I got the Hy-Vee Indy cars, 3 colors, and then the 1/18th scale. And I don't know what I was expecting because I have like 1/24 scale, and I pulled this out. I'm like, wow, this car is massive.
Well, and it's funny because I have the black version right here.
Yeah, so I got the Hy-Vee. I don't know what to do with this yet. So it's just sitting on my desk for the time being. My kids are like, I'm opening it. I'm like, don't you dare.
Yeah, it's fun. And
I mean,
one of
there's
those
no.
is actually going out to a winner from our charity race.
Yeah. The other one, yeah, we had a set that went out to Karen Mullins, I believe was her name, was the winner of that prize. So congratulations to Karen. And
Can't complain about diecast. Those are cool.
no, I mean
As
it's like
evidenced over your shoulder there.
yes, I collect diecasts if you can't tell, and I have quite a few diecasts behind me. Enough that I have a special display case for them. They are
At some point I
worthless.
need that.
They are completely worthless, but it's all sentimental.
It's funny. I can go to a local like collector store here and pay $5 and get one. But yes, it's the sentimental value and growing up watching these cars on the track, and that's the fun part.
Racing champions. Well, you remember as kids, like we'd go to the store, hey, like check out my new Racing Champions car, and you're like, oh, cool, you got the Rusty Wallace that says Rusty on it. Or
And growing up in central Indiana, if you ever saw Jeff Gordon on the shelf, you hit the gold.
Yeah, you grabbed that. It's like I don't care if that's the third one of it. Yeah, you did not see Jeff Gordon very much.
No,
there was tons of Jeremy Mayfield Kmart cars. There were tons of Hut Strickland Circuit City cars available. Mark Martin, there were a lot of those.
What's fun?
Spike,
I've met both of them, Hut Strickland and Jeremy Mayfield.
really? When did you meet Hut Strickland?
One of the Ford Fan Days.
Wonder what he's up to nowadays.
I was actually reading up on him not too terribly long ago. I've raced Jeremy Mayfield twice on iRacing.
Here's a fun fact. Hut Strickland, I guess he sat down with Dale Earnhardt Jr. last year. He was
Right, I did see that.
he coached Tom Cruise during Days of Thunder.
Yeah, I think next weekend I'm gonna be actually this weekend. I'm gonna be watching that movie. Gotta get
I
ready
have
for
it. I have it. I watch it periodically. I watch it probably way too much. I have like
yeah, I will
movies.
watch Days of Thunder and lead up to the 500, and then at some point before one of the Talladegas, I'll watch Ricky Bobby.
Yeah, I have movies that like if there's nothing on TV at night and I'm reading or something, I will put a movie on for noise. And I have like this rotation of movies that like I've seen them all 100 times. I could probably do the lines from most of them or most of the lines, but Days of Thunder goes in that rotation. Ricky Bobby goes in that rotation. And for the longest time, my noise movie was The Hangover, the original Hangover movie.
That's my in-flight movie. That or Neighbors.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Oh, got to check out Neighbors and Neighbors 2. Those
They
are
made a
hilarious.
sequel. I'm so far
Yeah.
behind. I haven't seen the original. It's funny watching a movie on a plane. You're watching The Hangover and you see that scene of Ken Jeong jumping out of the trunk of the car naked. I'm sure that goes over well in the Blues Brothers is another one that I keep on rotation.
Oh, it's been a long time since I've seen that.
Another one actually, really, really good movie. If you like John C. Reilly, is Cedar Rapids.
I don't think I've seen that one.
There was a section of Fox called Fox Searchlight, and what they would do is they find these like up and coming script writers and produce their movies, and they're like they're kind of like independent movies, so to speak, but they'd like help these guys like break into Hollywood, and they'd get these like really good casts to be in their movies. And so Cedar Rapids has Ed Helms is the star of it. John C. Reilly is in it, and Hesh. Sigourney Weaver has a little bit of a part in the movie, and there's other people. Kurtwood Smith is in it. You from that '70s show. Who else? Isaiah Whitlock Jr., who is in The Wire. Stephen Root, who many people know as Milton from Office Space. That's a good movie. But the funny thing is the movie was filmed in Ann Arbor. It wasn't filmed in Cedar Rapids. But
So
it's
I'm
good.
actually reading a little article here about Max Verstappen talking about Red Bull's 2024 livery. I
Oh
guess
yeah.
in the video posted, it was, quote, "It's going to look exactly the same." Then asked again, "Yeah, I told you it's going to look exactly the same."
I mean, let's think. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
So we'll see what happens. It's coming up here soon.
Oh, Max, never change. See, this whole like Max, I don't care. I'm just gonna like say and do what I want. This is the Max I like. Whiny Max I don't like, but like this Max where he's just kind of like riffing and like, yeah, it's gonna look the same. There's this group or these people that they call it Red Bull Comedy Hour, and they make these like minute long Instagram reels and TikToks, and it's like Max and Red Bull, and they're telling jokes, and they're not really good jokes usually, but they're just trying to make like these zingers in various events, like leading up to races or social media, and um, yeah, but it's really funny because the humor is so bad in it. So NASCAR had something.
Yeah, I
I don't know if I'd call
unfortunately get my time back.
I don't know if I'd call it a race. And the Fox camera work on that was uh, like they would, it's like they put a camera in the center and just like spun it in circles that time. It's just oof. Fox has been criticized a lot for their broadcast quality in recent years. And we've said this before. Mike Joy made a mention of with the licensing that they pay NASCAR to have the ability to broadcast the races and all the production costs associated with it. He more or less implied they don't, Fox doesn't make a lot of money doing this.
The
The
contract
number,
has just gotten absurd.
yeah, it's just
At
TV
some
deals
point,
are just outrageous to me.
at some point, it just isn't going to make sense if the numbers keep going up.
Well, and the fact that like fewer and fewer people have TV,
Mhm.
and then like, oh, we're gonna move it to Netflix, and then Netflix goes up $5 a month, or we're gonna move it to Peacock, and Peacock raises them by $1 a month, $2 a month, or whatever. And it's just, did you hear this thing about like Fox and ESPN and somebody else are making like a unified streaming sports app program?
Well, it could either be really good or it could go south really
Yeah, and
fast.
it's just like, what are we doing here, guys?
Wouldn't that end up being a monopoly?
Yeah, I just kind of wonder about that. But it's like, you used to buy your cable and you got all these channels, and like 75% of them you don't want. And then you go to the streaming, and then you want more channels, and that cost like Hulu went from $39.99 a month to I think I'm paying like $78.99 a
Mhm.
month now for it. Not quite
Yeah,
at
I
direct
guess just
TV
got
level. There's talk of Dish Network could potentially file for bankruptcy. Just channels are getting dropped. Sports teams are getting smart and going to over the air, and it's like we'll make up the money elsewhere. Uh, you had the Bally Sports debacle where they filed for bankruptcy, and they stopped making payments to the Padres, and they stopped making payments to the Diamondbacks, and
yeah, that's Detroit. The sports out here was Bally.
they
Can't watch
still,
them on TV.
yeah, well, and Amazon bought into them. I don't know how that's going to work with Prime Video or whatever, but there is no Bally Sports Arizona flopped. The Diamondbacks went, and there you can buy a MLB TV, like a special subscription to watch the Diamondbacks here locally. There's no blackouts anymore. The Suns are on local TV, and the Coyotes are on local TV, and Phoenix Mercury are paired with the Suns. So it's like, it's like I can watch the Diamondbacks on MLB.TV, and I can watch the rest of them with an over-the-air antenna. That's great. I love it.
Yeah, that clash, I'm ready for it to not be there. I see it as just a waste of money. You have to go through and pave it every year. It seems like a waste.
And then this year we have the horrible storms in California on Sunday, so they move it up with like little notice on Saturday night, just like, hey, we'll give you a refund if you bought a ticket for Sunday, and all the festivities, and Machine Gun Kelly was performing, and all that got canceled, and the biggest loser of all this was NASCAR Mexico, and they were gonna have their showcase, and I don't know if it was going to actually be on Fox or if they're going to move it to FS1. But then it became an afterthought. They ran the NASCAR event on Saturday night, And then they went out and Daniel Suarez jumped in and won the race with the NASCAR Mexico series. But it's, yeah, I don't know. Something's got to change. That event's really,
I like the page out of Talladega Nights that they took with the giant numbers on half the windshield.
yeah. All you needed was a fake Newton logo there. Yeah.
I
I
saw
thought
the
that was
comments and
funny.
all of it was just like Talladega Nights.
I'm like,
Great idea.
what's with the number on the window?
Make it
I don't
easier
know.
to see, I guess.
I mean, NASCAR Mexico's been around for quite a while, and I forget that it exists.
Yeah, pretty much.
They don't show it here. They have no reason to show it. I'm kind of interested now, like what does NASCAR Mexico run? And I have to assume it's probably a combination of short tracks and road courses. I can't imagine there'd be too many oval tracks in Mexico. NASCAR Mexico used to run a race at Phoenix back in the day.
Um, it does look like Denny Hamlin is going to continue his role as the villain this year,
Yeah, yes, yes.
where he goes, I clean off all the trophies every January 1st in the entryway of the house, and now we get to add another one pretty quick. So pretty happy about that. I like how he did his standard now. I beat your favorite driver again, right?
All right, so we're looking at NASCAR Mexico here. Super Ovalo Potosino. Apologies. It's a half-mile track. Yeah, kind of almost like a Darlington look to it, a half mile like Darlington. And then you have Berriozabal, which looks like a smaller Daytona, 1.25 miles, 12-degree banking. Yeah, so it's nowhere near the banking of Daytona. But actually, it looks more like a Michigan, like a 1.25-mile version of Michigan. El Dorado Speedway in Chihuahua. It's a 0.625-mile track. Ovalo Aguascalientes is a 0.875-mile oval with a 1.18-mile roval. Oh, and then here's the Monterey full circuit. What else we got here? Autodromo Miguel E. Abed.
Long straights and tight turns.
Yeah, because this looks like iRacing Super Speedway. The oval is 1.28 miles and it's shaped like iRacing Super Speedway.
I'm not seeing the banking on it.
I don't see it either. And then Autodromo Querétaro. There is a 0.797 mile oval and a 1.48438 mile road course, but it looks like they do the road or the oval. These are some funky looking tracks. The Mexico, yeah, they race at the Hermanos Rodriguez, the Autodromo. I wonder why that isn't in iRacing.
I'm sure it's some sort of licensing or who knows.
You would think. I think that's a big enough deal. It's probably, yeah, you're probably right. It's probably a licensing thing. Yeah, from 2013 to 2015, they ran a race at Phoenix. And they used to have Mazdas involved in the car. Anyway, NASCAR Mexico. Wasn't planning on talking about that, but I don't really have much to say about the about that clash. It's just like, let's get Daytona here. We don't have anything on TV this weekend, do we? Because it's all the haulers are on their way to Florida.
Yep.
Such a dumb thing. It's like, hey, let's drive them out to Hollywood for this stupid event and then drive them back to Florida.
So just earlier today or this week, steak actually got removed from Sauber's website.
No kidding.
Their legal turmoil.
They're a gambling site, aren't they?
Uh, yeah, based out of Brazil. Is that right? Oh, it's due to legal implications of advertising gambling services in Switzerland and other F1 host countries.
Oops.
So that's where it's coming in at.
Good old. So, oh yeah, so Wednesday night dash. We'll finish off with this. I wasn't having a great night. I got caught up going around a slow accident. So I was probably, I don't know, I was probably about 10, 11 seconds behind the leader, but I was doing, I figured out if I can get caught back up at the caution, who knows what happens. You're back on the podium.
Yeah, I did not expect that.
Yeah, that was unexpected, but I'm
I was
driving.
borderline like, this will be a rage quit night. And
then I finished on the podium. Funny how that works.
sometimes you just gotta stay on track and get lucky.
Yeah, and so like it said, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And yeah, so I'm driving, and then all of a sudden, everybody disappears from the track except for me. I'm like, this can't be good.
Yeah,
Driving
we
around,
saw you disconnect. Actually, another driver disconnected.
Lane Snow disconnected, and then it was rough, and I got booted out. It just said session closing. It was like the race ended. It just booted me out of there.
That's wild.
And kicks me out. And I get back in, and I'm clicking, the join to come back in. And wouldn't let me. I get to about 15% loaded, and it said error connecting to session. And then I would sit there, and I decided, I'll just jump in the booth, and I let Hunter know what was going on. And then all of a sudden, I'm connected to the session again. I'm like, okay. And I said, well, I'm going to go get back in my car because I have a chance to make up a spot here, and I'm going to do that. So I'm going to go get back in the car. And, I was 15 laps down at that point, but I wanted to run some laps, one for the practice, but two, I got a spot back, so I didn't finish in dead last. And, it's just, I could have been in the top 5 tonight. I think easily could have been in the top 5 tonight had it not been for that. And instead I walk out of there sitting at the bottom of the field. Sucks.
Yeah, we haven't seen that, so not sure what happened.
Especially with 2 of us. It's like, okay, one is like, okay, internet, but for 2 of us who are on completely different parts of the country to have that happen to us, I'm going to reach out to support and see what they say, but it is what it is at this point.
And fortunately, they probably won't have an answer, and the race is already over.
Yeah, I'm 11 points out of 5th. I'm currently tied with Mark for 6th. We got the Roval coming up in 2 weeks, which you will not be present for.
It's gonna hurt though. I'll be out for the next 2 races, and it's unfortunate. I'm sitting second in the point standings right now, and
yeah, it's a bummer.
I will plummet.
Bummer for that to happen.
That's okay though.
Yeah, we're taking Valentine's week off because for us who have significant others and or are married, hey, I'm skipping on Valentine's Day and I'm gonna go race with the boys. I'm sure that would go over well for most of us. No.
Yeah, probably.
Actually, like honestly, I couldn't tell you the last time I went out to dinner for Valentine's Day with my wife. And probably you either because you peak coaching season.
Yeah, I'm always busy, and half the time I'm gone.
It's stupid. Restaurants are scamming you on that day, and
Yeah, we just
some
wait anyway. Wait till it gets cheaper again.
I just ever since I've had kids, like I don't. It's like nope, you can go out to dinner.
Yeah, it's one of those. If you need a one day to buy roses for your significant other, you might need to look at a few things. Sorry.
Sorry
Should be
for
any day.
scheduling a race on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, my wife got roses this past Saturday, so
Oh, nice. Well, I mean, you've only been married for what, 2 years now? 2.5 years?
yeah, it should have been well, this summer should be going on 4, but
Yeah,
it got
wow.
postponed because of
World fell
so
apart
yeah,
for
it's
a
going into
while.
3. Yeah,
Can you believe this? That in July I'll have been married 12 years.
that's wild. Didn't feel like that long ago since I
12
was
years.
there watching.
Everyone's like, you're not even gonna make it a year. Well, you know what? In your face, people who said I wouldn't make it a year. Yeah, I
Oh,
drive her insane.
time flies.
I drive her insane.
Me
That is
too.
true.
It's probably half amazing that they put up with us.
See, the thing is, like, when you have a spouse that you can drive insane just because of your goofy, screwball ways, and they don't walk out, that's a keeper right there.
Yes, it is.
And I'm only saying this because I know there's zero chance my wife will ever listen to this. Actually, here's something hilarious about listening to this show. Um, so I mentioned something. Oh, so our friend Andy Amendola is releasing the Indy 500 or the ABCs of IndyCar kids book here soon. And Erik and I helped him with his research, and we're in there in the back of the book in the special thanks, which is awesome. I'm really cool. Never thought I'd have my name in a book before, but so the other thing is that our kids helped with we call them the junior beta testers, and showed it to my kids, see what they thought of it, and so my kids' names are in the book, and your son's name is in the book, and I sent a screenshot of it to my parents, and I said, "Oh, I see my grandkids' names," and I said, "Yeah, and you see Erik's son's name," and my mom. This was like 3 months ago. My mom's like, "Erik has a kid." She's like, "When did he have a kid?" I'm like, a year and a half ago.
Yeah, he's 18 months old.
Yeah, like
Last Sunday.
about a year and a half ago. I mean, it's a little less than a year and a half ago at this point, but almost a year and a half ago. She's like, "Well, thanks for telling me." And I said, number one, I know I've told you before. Number two, infamously missed a race, a season finale because his wife went into labor. And number three, we talk about kids quite a bit on this show in some form or another. And I said, that just proves you aren't listening and you are busted.
Outside
Thanks,
of
mom.
mom, I spent how many hours at your house growing up, and you
Yeah,
didn't tell her?
yeah. Thanks for not listening, mom. Gosh, that's right. Oh man. Actually, you know what? My parents actually might be planning a trip out here next month.
Oh, awesome.
I haven't seen them in over 4 years.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's just everything going on, and it just with literally everything going on. The kids are in school now, so it's like, hey, your grandparents are more than just a person on a FaceTime call. So
Yeah, it's a little more difficult for you. I'm
It,
3 hours away.
yeah, that tends to,
I can
I was
run
kind
down
of
on
wondering, I was
Tuesday.
kind of wondering about that where, my mom was already pretty upset when I told her I was accepting a job in Phoenix. And my parents live in Indiana. It still, actually, your parents and my parents are still in our childhood homes. Um, and I told her, I got a job offer in Phoenix and I think I'm going to take it. And she's just like, we're not going to be right down the road. If you have an emergency and you need us, we're not down the road. I'm like, number one, it's 3 hours down the road. Number two, I can count on one hand how many times you came to visit us when we lived in Chicago anyway. So I think we'll be okay. And number three, 6 months after we moved out here, my in-laws moved out here and are 15 minutes away, which in-laws, we'll leave
Yeah,
it.
yes.
Yeah, that was funny. I have a 1,500-mile buffer between me and my in-laws, and they come out for Thanksgiving and they walk away with keys to a house.
That's fun.
Oh, anyway. Yeah, not a lot of content to talk about this week, but that's why they call it garage talk. Sometimes you just sit around, you grab the beer, and you just whatever. It's gonna get busier soon. After Daytona, we're gonna start doing a 5-minute Monday show. We're gonna do the timer. We're gonna shut this thing down after about 5 minutes and give you something to listen to on the way to work Monday morning.
Yeah, we're just a little over a week away from the 500. And that really kind of starts kicking off the season. And we're excited to have a show coming to you on Monday. Just quick recap of our thoughts and ramblings of the race.
We'll be a month
Oh,
away
race
from the
it is.
Phoenix race, so my yeah, my kids, they like going to the race just because of everything but the race. They love the activities, they love getting all the swag handed to them. Of course they do. So just one of these days we'll get you to sit through the entire race.
Even
We're
when
into
we went to
stage
Iowa,
three
we didn't
now.
mind getting free koozies and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, it's
I have
just
no
it's.
shame.
Oh, I told you that when we were there in November, one of the one of the Gibbs marketing guys were just walking around, and the guy just walked up to my kids and handed them a Christopher Bell 1/64 scale diecast. Just like, here
Yeah,
you
that's
go.
cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's way to earn a fan. And then
Yep.
my kids go and buy Kyle Larson hats because they liked the way they looked. Like, well, you got a diecast car out of it, and then you go and pick a rival team driver. It is what it is. So, Indy Racing World Series starts in 2 weeks,
Yeah,
less
coming
than
up
2 weeks.
on the 20th.
And Wednesday Night Dash will be off next week for Valentine's Day and back at the Charlotte Roval, which I had my sanity questioned a little while ago by one of the Wednesday Night Dash drivers. Like, what on earth did you think going to the Roval was a good idea? It wasn't a good idea. And that's why we picked it.
Yeah, we have at least one track that's a challenge and a nightmare every year or season, I guess.
Remember when we did the Coda a couple years ago in trucks?
I actually enjoyed that one.
That was fun. There was some heated arguments on the radio with some people driving a little too aggressively. And I also remember Bernard Pollard going, "I'm only here because I don't want to get fined." And I said, "I think you've probably used that line before." And he's like, "Yes, many times."
Maybe we have to go back there. It's been a while.
I don't know. I'm not sure Arca at Coda would be although Coda for Indy Racing World Series season 4.
I'll have to do some testing.
They used to run there up till a few years
Good.
ago. I'm sure there's a config in there.
I'm pretty sure there is.
Nothing like the you get the standing start for Formula One, wherever, and you get the rolling start for IndyCar coming around that, and then going up that hill for that sharp left-handed turn. What
Ooh,
could go wrong?
everything.
Everything.
And 20th we kick off Chicagoland on Stadium Scene.
Yep, and Taka will be jumping in the booth. We've convinced him to, he's done some commentary for our special events with Petit Le Mans and then Daytona 24. So he's going to take it and give it a shot as play-by-play commentary for oval racing in the IndyCar series. So we'll see. Hopefully, I think he'll do really well with it. He's definitely a student. He's a student of this. He knows. He studies. He does his homework, and it's a development process as much as it is for the rest of us in the cars. So it's we're looking forward to it. I think this is going to be a lot of fun, and glad that we can finally broadcast.
If it goes like previous seasons, it's we're gonna start off with a show. Should be a lot of action on track.
And a certain driver accusing us of conspiring against him if the points are close at the end of the season. No, I'm kidding, Derek. We're not going to do that.
No, not at all.
No, we run clean. We run fair. Anything that happens that's dumb is just, it's dumb. That's
Coming
it.
in as the defending series champion. He's already said he's trying to go back to back, but
Anyway,
see what happens. Good luck.
At FR Racing Online. Give us a follow on social media, streaming platforms. You can find us almost anywhere. And then frracingonline.com. Check out the blog, check out the site. We got some cool projects coming up. And thanks for listening.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. Take care.